Hello there everyone, welcome to another episode of the Silas Barimah podcast. Ideas have molded our present reality. All that we are aware of is as a direct result of an idea or a thought had by somebody which went through a rigorous trial cycle to be acknowledged by the parts in the general public. Today, I want to talk about one of the most mind-boggling ideas, which is Determinism and Non-Determinism. At the incredibly fundamental level, the truth of our reality by all accounts seems to be non-deterministic. With this, we realize the universe has a base establishment, which isn't visible or felt by feelings of the human senses. Most people attribute this to being the spiritual or psychic phase, subliminal, or the ascension state. Then the external piece of the universe, which is the user interface, also seems to be by all accounts deterministic and can be repeated or predicted and even simulated. Nevertheless, all of these conditions of what compels up reality or makes up reality for the most part will overall be weaved with each other. Both of them seen by all accounts to be having two properties of being deterministic and non-deterministic all at once. Yet, what is reality? Reality is not something simple in itself. It's made of two overly jointed parts, like the tree of the knowledge of good and evil in the Garden of Eden, which appears to be separated from each other, yet in reality isn't every bit of relevant information to an account of its nature. This is the means by which the universe is and how to contemplate reality, both deterministic and non-deterministic in nature. For what reason do I say this? The universe is made up of matter. Matter, as we've been shown in schools, is conceivably anything by any means having mass in space. Mass here could be either negative mass or positive mass. It's not things we could quantify by the ordinary estimating gadgets we have only. Some mass estimations are significantly much more complicated. This is where we tend to watch out and go much deeper into the subject. In every bit of what matter is, there are particles about the quantity of Avogadro's number. What's more, taking each iota, we have particles within it. The electrons, neutrons, and protons make up the core of the atom, quarks and leptons, just to give some examples. Now, the particularly dazzling thing about the atom was that when it was first discovered or thought of in 450 BC by Democritus, he truly felt that the atom is resolute or cannot be further broken down past its limits. Isn't that supposed to be a wonderful idea? Voila! I have found out reality. But then, that was not the end. The reality of the universe on every basic level. The reality of the universe on a very basic level had all the earmarks of being unchangeable. We couldn't do a considerable amount of anything to change the texture of what reality was made of. We lived in it, and with profound review into the atom and what it's capable of, we were able to work out with high precisions what might occur on the off chance would happen per calculations and observations. To me, I think this is the basis of the deterministic idea. The world where everything, and I mean everything, can be predicted rightly if and only if the parameters for your prediction are right for the system that you... With this thought, we would think that the universe is deterministic in itself, but that is just half of the whole truth. Where did the idea of non-determinism come from? What is it? In simple terms, non-determinism is described as when previous occasions can't be used to guess what will happen in the next second. even with a comparative kind of data. How? I thought we had it all figured out. Or the smart people we know now are the ones making mistakes and not thinking they are right. Fucking. I don't think so. Non-determinism counts for randomness. At this point, you're not so sure anymore. Even fucking 1 + 1 could become something other than 2. If the universe is made up of matter, which is in turn made of atoms, which are the smallest particle of any element, and in their complexity can still be predicted, then where from the randomness growing into non-determinism? I have no idea. Crazy as it may sound, maybe the atom isn't the smallest after all. Maybe the atom can be split further and further into something much, much deeper than we already know. And maybe this is what the randomness of the universe is spilling out of. This then raises the question, what the fuck then is the nature of the reality? Is it deterministic or non-deterministic? Well, I think I have an answer. Reality, as I already said, isn't what we see. What we see and experience every day in our lives, it's just the user interface. The user interface is to help humans to interact with the physical world and to get exactly what we need. The interface provides an option to create something that we want in the light of past events. It must be within certain limits to disallow certain uncertainty from springing up. That is the reason we have rules and regulations in our society, our order. Without the user interface, the whole universe will fall into chaos and doom. That is what the physical universe seems so deterministic. Just so you can interact with the physical world without thinking about the nitty-gritty of what it's made of, so you could live, survive, and procreate to match evolution as a collective whole into a much more perfect state where our minds can comprehend other truths about the universe, of which we're so limited in our cognitive capacity to comprehend or understand. The true nature of the universe is the non-deterministic part, and you're not supposed to know us yet because it's ugly and very chaotic. So as humans, as people going about our day in activities, what do we have to do with this information? How should it impact our lives to evolve our instinctive behaviors and to master ourselves to live the best out of what we have? Indeed, we really need to master the idea behind determinism. We have to move with a clear and set goal, with significance. The failure of one to move without the ability to plan and set standards for his life makes reality really terrible, discouraging, and revolting for you, which in itself is something worth being thankful for, since it should move your psyche to see the universe in a manner that is reasonable and helpful for yourself and for anybody living in it. That is probably one of the ways we develop as a race and as people. If you want people to do something, either for you or for themselves or for the human race, you need to give them a reason to do so. Humans do things only when they see a sense in it. It could be in any form, self-satisfaction, whatever thing you think about, anything that you think you could do to get a person on board. So what's important to know right here? You need to get to know people, at a personal level at least. You need to study humans to know what makes them tick so that you could associate with them, or so they can get interested in you and like you. That's why relationships are important and it's a fundamental necessity for life. Give people undeniable reasons to do things or act. Be curious, ask questions, don't be shy. Be confident, move calculably and with intent. Let everything you do carry or flow with intent.